friends, myself Ravi Inania, and today I am here with my Viva topic, that is difference between for loop, while loop, do while, and switch. So we start with loop. Okay. Mainly there are three types of loops, that are while loop, do while loop, and for loop. So while loop and for loop are entry control loops, whereas do while loop is exit control loop. So we will start with while loop. As I already told you, that while loop is entry control loop. So what is entry control loop? So when we see while loop syntax, that is we write as while in bracket, that is condition, and after that opening closing, and in which we write our executable statements, etc. So in while there is no means in the while loop syntax there are not mentioned that declaration, but we have to declare the variable already in the method already, and the condition which is mentioned at the starting of the loop. So if the condition is true, then the loop will execute, and within the loop, when the condition is executed, the part which will execute after the condition is true, within the loop we have to give some increment or decrement operator, or some condition which will increase the value or decrease the value of the condition, so that our loop will have an exit. Because if we doesn't give an exit or an control statement within the loop, then the loop will transfer to infinite loop, which is not a good idea or good output for a programmer. Okay. Then second loop is that for loop. For loop is also entry control loop, because when we see for loop syntax, that is first we initialize the variable, then we give the condition, then the increment or decrement is done. In the for loop, after that we write our statement, executable statement. So the control or the execution of for loop is like that. The first it will initialize the variable. After that it will check the condition whether the condition is true or false. If the condition is true, then the control transfer inside the loop, and the statement which are written inside it will execute it. After that it will the control will transfer to the condition, means the increment or decrement done. After that it will go back to the condition, means check whether the condition is true or false. If it is true, then it will it will process again, and the loop will execute also. And the last looping part is, that is do while. Do while loop is used when we have to execute on at least one time, or we have to execute our loop at least one time. So whether our condition is true or false, it doesn't matter. So the syntax of do while is like do in the bracket the statement, after that the increment or decrement, and after the closing we write while, and after while we write in bracket the conditions. Means like the while, in while loop we write the condition at the start, but in do while we write the condition at the bottom, because in do while loop at least there is at least one iteration is done. Whether the condition is true or false, it doesn't matter. So the use or the need of loop is like that, when we need to perform a similar type of task repeatedly. So in this condition the loops are used, and when we know the iterations or the times we have to perform, or how many times we have to perform the loop, at that place we use for loop. In the condition when we don't know how much time our loop has to execute, at that time we use while loop. And in the condition in which we have to execute our loop at least one time, whether the condition is true or false, at that situation we use do while loop. So after looping, I will shift to switch. Switch is the we can say it is the another alternative of nested if okay, nested if else statement. In nested if else statement, we write a syntax that is if else if, and in this the execution is or the condition is checked in every loop. Every if else statement check the condition till our condition is true, or at the last it will print the else part. So if there are lot of conditions, lots of condition we have to check in that time. If else nested if else have some issues, like it will take lot of space, or code will lengthy, and it take more time to execute the code. So to deal with the problems like that, we have created the switch. In switch, and the syntax of switch is like that. We have to write switch keyword. After that, we write ch, that is or the character or the variable at that in the bracket. After that, opening of the switch. In that, we write cases. We can write n number of cases at the place, and switch is like a jump statement. If our case is matched, then it will jump from first to last at or directly to that case, and it will execute the code inside that case. If our neither, or if there are no match to the case, we will execute default case will executed. And the one main part while writing the switch case, that every case or every writing after every case we have to write break statement. If we didn't write break keyword, because break is not compulsion to write it break. So if we didn't write break at the end of the case, after the true condition, that if one case is matched to another, if one condition is matched to the case, after that case every all the cases will execute. So we have to write break. If after every case we write break, if the case is executed, after that it will break and it will come out the switch block. So for today, I think this is enough for the topic. So I will like to finish my video, and I will finish here. So thank you.